Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I am the abundant alchemist, Manolo.
Enrique.
Camillo,
Welcome to Cipher Session.
welcome.
What's up, people?
Feeling
How we
good.
living?
Bitcoin doing all right.
Yeah, dude, the markets are bouncing back,
Yeah.
looking good.
Aside
dude.
from Facebook.
Yeah,
Ooh, that took a hard hit. Meta took a huge hit.
for
Mhm.
sure.
Earnings came in lower than expected, so that tumbled. And I think
Is-
even Zuckerberg sold off a ton of shares, right?
Really?
Which also there was a sell off in Facebook. No, I thought I read
No,
something.
there was
Could be
definitely
wrong.
some kind of sell-off because that chart looked like a cliff.
Atrocious.
Yeah. I mean, I was brave enough. I nibbled. I got one little stock of Facebook
You're
just
good. You're
to
There
good.
you go.
speculate.
You got to be in it
Buying
to
when they're
win,
crying.
baby. That's it. It feels great talking in English again.
Right. Yeah. That was a great show. If our viewers didn't notice or weren't up on us being at the Desacato show, we had a great time over there. Excellent questions. I had a lot of fun. We went over, presenting the crypto universe to our Hispanic people, Latinos,
Yes, sir.
and they asked a lot of great questions. How'd you guys feel in there?
Go ahead, Joe. Hit it first, and then I'll piggyback off it.
It was pretty cool, man. Like the setup was nice. It was a little bit challenging because you kind of you have thoughts, and then for me, I have to translate them in Spanish. So I kind of had a couple little hiccups, but it was fun. It was very fun.
Good practice.
And they want us back, so I think we did
Yeah.
good, and I think everyone had a good time. What about you, E?
I thought it was cool. I thought it was fun. It was out of our element, right? They have a very sparky channel, and so like we would start something down a path, and they'd throw in a joke. So it was nice.
Right.
It was a good atmosphere, and I think they have viewers that listen from the U.S. and maybe from other countries as well. And so the fact that we're able to give insight to other countries that may not have the plug or may not have the know-how, I think it's important, and I think it's nice. So it was nice. It was a good feeling overall.
Definitely. I wanted to chime in that last question that they went over because, unfortunately, I couldn't be there live with you guys. I joined remotely.
You're
so
right
it was
here
a
in the
bit
heart,
difficult.
always, Manolo.
That's
You're
it.
always in the heart.
Awesome. So, I didn't want to give you guys a heart attack to let you guys know that I had something to say. But I wanted to follow up with that very important question that they brought up about, taking responsibility for your crypto, and if anybody is there to answer for any hacks or, platforms being taken advantage of. And that is a concern, obviously, that people that may not be very tech savvy and taking their crypto into their own wallets, they may be a little weary of platforms because of that answer, which really, when it comes down to it, you have to be responsible for your own crypto. But I wanted to chime in and let them know, like, for example, BlockFi, they warranty up to $200,000 of your
wow.
crypto, much like, legacy banks.
FDIC, kind of like, right?
So yeah, exactly. So and that's backed by I believe the Gemini. Now I don't want to say wallet. I'm blanking out here. With the C word.
Crypto.com? No.
No, not crypto. More like the custody. That's what I want to say.
There you go.
Custody.
Oh,
So
custody. Gotcha.
as
Okay.
custodians, and with these huge companies like Binance that lead in volume worldwide, Coinbase, a publicly traded company, I find it hard to believe that they, knock on wood, it doesn't ever happen, but that they would suffer something like a hack and not do right by their clients because they have so much to gain in the future. And so something like that would tarnish their image. So I don't see that ever happening and then not doing right by their clients, their customers.
it's funny that you mentioned that. So I mean, we were in the moment, so it was kind of just like a quick flash. So I remember watching a Senate hearing where it was Brian Brooks. It was a bunch of exchange CEOs. I don't really quite remember which. I don't know if it was Coinbase. Maybe I don't remember. And one of the questions that was asked by the Senate was, what would you do in the event that there was a hack? And they said that, we're putting procedures in place to make sure that if there is a hack, depending on how it happened and how it had occurred, we're addressing that in order to get people their money back. So it is something that they are looking into. And I know that with some exchanges, depending on the circumstance, you may be able to get some assistance.
Yeah, definitely. I think as regulation moves forward, that's going to be something that, the average Joe that's investing in crypto is going to be and should be protected. But when it comes down to it, I think my advice, and the guys may concur, would be to be responsible and know how to manage your own crypto. When it comes down to it, that's why we're in the space, so that we are not reliant on the powers that be. The least amount of reliability that we place on them, the more power that we take back.
Yeah, I agree. And I also would kind of give the example of like a social security number. Like, you have your social security number, you kind of are responsible for it. And like, if someone takes it and does identity fraud, you can get help, but ultimately you want to kind of keep stuff like that safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you want to get into the charts? Let's see.
Yeah.
It's a nice green day, so
absolutely.
You want to break it down on all of us?
I actually don't mind that band.
Oh yeah, I love them. It's one of my first musical loves, aside before I even got into hip hop. But let's look at the hop in the charts. Right now, Bitcoin is at 40,814. I'm not sure the chart that I sent you, if it was on the daily, I believe.
Yeah, it's a daily.
Okay, it's on the daily, so we could see a nice spike straight up. We are currently, that red line is the 20 EMA, which many times whenever we are above signifies that the trend will be going in an upwards momentum. Since I would say early December, we saw price action move below the 20 EMA and steadily move downwards. Now we've finally broken that trend. I see a green dot on my version of Market Cipher, as well as momentum on the MACD moving bullish. We're looking nice on the RSI. We're not too overbought just yet. So I think that we have a nice way to go. Dare I say, we may touch 50,000 within the next coming weeks. XRP at 64 cents currently, Cardano $1.12, and Ethereum 2,955. So all in all, it's looking okay for crypto.
And what do you think we have to see to like be able to determine that we're kind of moving more bullish than bearish? I don't know.
Well, besides this chart, I do see momentum going in the upwards direction. Fundamentally, I think we're still kind of hanging on to some clarity with the SEC. I'll direct to that story again. I think as soon as we get some clarity with the XRP case, it should help crypto as a whole. And we're kind of holding our breath to see what Biden and his administration has to say about their big announcement. It could go both ways,
It could, for sure.
I think it may be bullish. What do you think, guys?
I think it's always more fun to be bullish.
Yeah.
The bulls have more fun more fun than the Bears.
We'll
What do you
see. I
think,
mean,
Gabe?
I mean, I think that I'm hopeful that it will be bullish, but I think that it can go either way. But I think we're going to discuss articles in this episode that give me a ray of bullish light as to maybe how things will move. And so I guess when we discuss those, we can deep dive into it. But we'll see. I mean, regulation can always go either way. So
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Should we get right into the articles, I guess?
yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. First one up. This one is a pretty interesting one. This is Coachella is going to get into the NFT business. This is they're going to have 10 Coachella keys, and pretty much, let me just summarize the article. Festival organizers have partnered with cryptocurrency exchange FTX to auction its debut NFT collection on its own marketplace, which is minted on the Solana blockchain. So shout out to the Solana holders out there. Bidding will open on Friday. No minimum bid was disclosed.
So they're bidding.
Exactly. So that's interesting.
Two things with that I'll say. One thing that I'll say is FTX is absolutely crushing it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like FTX is on almost every headline. Young smart cat, he's doing it big. But I'd be interested to see, right? Because they mentioned the Solana network, but there has been a lot of news on Solana network being hacked for a lot of money, right? And it's not only the first time that it's happened. So
it went down twice. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how that plays out. But conceptually, though, the fact that you make an event like Coachella, where like Beyonce performed, and you have all these high names, and you make it an NFT, conceptually, that idea is insane to me, and I think it's a great idea, and I think it's going to kill it.
I wonder if it's going to be kind of thrown into the metaverse.
Ooh,
like, because we're talking about UFC and the metaverse. Will Coachella kind of follow up on that?
I think so, dude. I think that, like we said last week, that's another piece of revenue for them, dude. Like if they can sell physical tickets for physical bodies and also sell metaverse, experience tickets, I think that'll be pretty neat.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. Next one. This one is, I think this was the gig economy.
Yeah.
You want to kind of get into this one, Manolo? Break it down for us.
Absolutely. So in this, I believe it's Cointelegraph. There you go. Altcoin roundup. So 3 ways blockchain technology could further mainstream in 2022. So in this article, they recap, they go over 3 particular sectors that could make heavy use of crypto, blockchain in particular. So one of these use cases is in the HR realm, with security and the data storage being very crucial to how they operate. It just makes perfect sense for blockchain to be utilized in a sector where this is very important, and it may save them money moving forward. We've seen so many companies get hacked, not necessarily in the HR department, but in critical private information. So blockchain could be utilized in HR pretty soon. The gig economy as well, like Uber, Lyft. We're seeing that 36% of the population in the United States have either worked in the gig economy as their primary or secondary source of income. And we're seeing that, now with what they're calling the Great Resignation, and sort of protest to what's going on, more and more people are picking up jobs in the gig economy. And so the use case for having blockchain in the gig economy would be the use of smart contracts. in order to, say, for example, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, if I am hailing a cab virtually on Uber, there should be probably a quicker way to track who that person which is paying for the cab and figuring out who the cab is, in order to make it work using a smart contract and knowing, this person always pays, or this person pays extra, this person that drives has been a good driver. And you may get to choose, 5-star drivers with a certain smart contract. And another bullish thing to note is that by 2023, up to 52% of the workforce will be actively working in the gig economy. Now, the third portion of that article is corporations. So corporations involved in blockchain technology, particularly with decentralized apps, aka dApps. One notable token is HBAR, Hedera Hashgraph. Am I saying that right?
Awesome.
Hashgraph?
Hedera Hashgraph. Yeah.
Hedera Hashgraph. Yeah. So, and this was news to me. I wasn't aware that these 5 very large companies, IBM, Boeing, Google, LG, and Standard Bank, are all have big stakes in HBAR. So corporations developing decentralized apps will be a big thing. And, one of the pros to having your apps decentralized is kind of getting away from being a target for hacks, I would say, just off the top of my head. Could you guys think of any other use cases? What would be the pros for corporations making use of apps?
There's a bunch of things that you said that I love. Right. One thing is I'm so bullish on HBAR. I love me some HBAR.
And stakes.
The network and the gossip protocol that it uses. It's fantastic. I could talk about it all day. But if I think about what you mentioned with regards to HR and them going on the blockchain, right? Mm-hmm. And the use of smart contracts, right? One way that I could think about that is when you go on a job interview, you have your resume. And then you fill out job applications. Those job applications include social security number, address, all this information, right? So could you put HR on a blockchain and use a technology like zero knowledge proof, where you're validating the basic core functions, or what do you know in order for me to validate? And we'll go more into detail about zero knowledge proof on another episode, but with the zero knowledge proof protocol, it's the basic minimum. How can I prove that you are who you are without having all this information? I just have to figure out a way to prove that, right? And so I think that if you integrate HR with blockchain, zero knowledge proof, which is very, very big into data privacy, you could get into this realm where HR will have things like, right now, you go to a company and you have recruiters, right? What happens if your recruiters become a smart contract? So where you have a recruiter that was entering information, now you have a smart contract that can create an algorithm where you input your information, it just tags it in, it splits it out, and it delegates it to the company, So I think that it's an interesting concept. If HR is actually going down that road, I think it's going to be fascinating, especially with the use of smart contracts and things like zero knowledge proof. So I think it makes sense.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, Yo, you want to add anything?
No, dude. I think knowing HBAR is definitely gonna be cheaper than transacting with Visa and MasterCard. So, like you said, quicker and cheaper. So why wouldn't they? That's pretty much it.
So, all bullish news that kind of reinforces our sentiment for the market beyond looking at the charts.
For sure. Let's go to the next piece of news. It is the Super Bowl, which is coming up. You want to?
Who's Who's facing off? I'm completely out of the loop.
It is the
Rams and Bengals.
and the the Rams and the Bengals. I was trying to think about that. I was like, oh yeah, but they upset the Chiefs. So yeah, Rams and the Bengals. But with that, right, this article that I bring up, I think it's a fascinating article in many ways, right? So this article is touching upon the fact that they're calling it the crypto bull. And the reason why they're calling it the crypto bull is because you have so many crypto companies and exchanges buying up time or buying up these 30-second segments for the Super Bowl, right? So a 30-second segment for the Super Bowl is roughly about $7 million. Wow. So it's interesting. The article kind of discusses how Binance took a different approach. They took Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat, and they just literally made a Twitter video where Jimmy Butler's like, February 13th, you're going to see a lot of things telling you how you should invest and what you should do with your money. Be smart. Do your own research. We at Binance, something like that, right? Yeah, and so they took kind of like the pre-stance approach, like let's get it before it even happens. We're not going to spend the $7 exactly. And so, but it just goes to show you, right? If you have all these crypto, like Johan, Manolo, you guys been watching sports, like the past Super Bowls, like even the last Super Bowl, how many crypto commercials did you see?
I think maybe last year was the first and maybe one. Yeah. Right? Was it last year?
Yeah. Maybe one, right?
Maybe one. Maybe one.
Maybe one. And the year before that?
None.
Donut, right? So you had Donut, you had one, and now you're having, I think they were mentioning like maybe 7 exchanges or something, a number like that. It's a pretty high number. And so what you're having is it's one of the most watched events in the US. Wow. And so what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to get this information out there, right? It's marketing.
Right.
But it's marketing during the most watched event. So
I'll chime in. Even I think it's worldwide.
Yeah.
I think people around the world for the commercials.
Worldwide.
So it's going to be a very good exposure for crypto.
Absolutely. So I think that's what it does. It just highlights the fact that we're now shifting towards more commercialized mainstream. Yeah, mainstream is a great word. Thank you. Of crypto, and you're seeing that. So I think it's great. I think it's going to. So you'll have people that are watching the Super Bowl that know about crypto, and then you'll have people that are watching the Super Bowl that don't know about crypto, and then they'll just start asking questions, and then those questions will potentially develop into something else. So I think it's a great thing. It's a sign of things to come, and it's a sign of the evolution on this space.
I also think that, like, as an investor, it just makes you feel bullish, you know? Like, we first had the Staples Center, now Crypto.com Center. You know, now we're having all these commercials popping up. And, you know, it's almost like, it might be too late to put the cat back in the bag. And I think, like, you know, we're, you know, it just lets us know that, you know what, we're on the right track. And this technology is so powerful that, you know, we can't stop it, in my opinion.
Oh, and in interesting point. But in the article, if you open the article, Johan, I think you touched on this when we were on the Desacato show. You were mentioning something about the internet, right? I think they have something in this article that talks about the number of companies that were investing in the Super Bowl during that era. So it's almost like, okay, that happened. A lot of those companies failed. I'm sorry. But then the internet flourished.
Right.
And so right now, you're almost in a similar place where you're going to have crypto at the forefront. Could a lot of these crypto memes fail? Absolutely. But then you'll have a thrive and you'll have actual utility. So I'm super bullish. I'm super excited.
Absolutely.
Exciting.
It's like we're seeing an exponential growth right now. You know, on the macro scale, we're seeing, you know, no mentions in the Super Bowl, 1 mention, now 7. And did I hear you right? So 7 mil each 30-second slot?
7 million. So the article, not me, the article says 7 million for 30-second slots. If you want to pull it up, and I think they said 7 companies. It could be 7 or 5. I can't remember. I don't know if you want to bring it up, Joe, and we could just scroll through it and give. So you have scroll down a little more. I'm like, my face is in the camera. Scroll. I think the next paragraph after the square.
With the networks asking as much as 7 million,
7 million
for a 30-second
exactly.
27 from last year. Is that inflation?
Could be. And so they go into a lot of things, but I think it's fascinating the fact that we recognize that it went from 1 to now, even if it's 4 or 7, that's nuts. That's insane.
Crazy.
That is huge. That kind of, I don't know. Do you guys want to tie this in with any other news, or I just kind of want to mention India and
go for it, dude.
Go for it, dude.
India now saying, after going back and forth, all right, we're going to legalize you. We're just going to hit you over the head and tax you 30%, which, it seems like a lot. I mean, we're already being taxed here in the U.S. on income about that rate. But it's a starting point, I think. And at least it gets people from India in the door, their foot in the door, to be able to legally participate. And the country could also benefit. And who knows, maybe a country that's heavily in debt, the U.S., could kind of follow suit and think of a way, hey, maybe this is a way that we could kind of get some water out of this boat that's being weighed down.
I agree, dude. And the fact that India is one of the largest populated countries, it's crazy. And which I recently found out, they also have one of the youngest population, dude. So India's going to be a big market, man, for crypto and just tech in general.
Yeah, I think one of the largest holders of crypto come from India. I think there's another Asian country as well that are super heavy into crypto, but I think India is leading.
Yeah.
Is that Japan-y? Do you know?
Japan is super big into crypto. Yeah. They hold a lot of crypto in Japan. There's. It's nice to see, because there were a lot of headlines previously about India banning crypto, and then now they're on board with it. So it's nice to see, and it's kind of happening simultaneously everywhere around the globe, right? And some form of underlying headline, you see more and more countries adopting crypto. So it's nice to see, or not necessarily adopting it, like we're crypto's everything, but building regulation around it. And whenever you start building regulation around something, it's because you're almost getting ready to adopt it in some type of way, and then you're building a legal framework around it. So I think it's nice and interesting to see. I think we're in the right space at the right time.
Yeah, crypto could no longer be ignored, I think, is where we're getting to.
That's it, dude. The technology is too fantastic. For real, it is, man.
Yeah. So what else, guys? What do we got? Is that I think
that's pretty much it for the rundown. You guys want to bring us out? Is there we should be having another video next week for you guys. Sneak peek. I think Manolo's supposed to be back on the Sakato show.
We're going to be working on that.
Yeah, I think in a week or two, we will be announcing it. Also, if you know someone who knows Spanish and is interested in crypto, on the YouTube channel, you'll see it. We posted it yesterday, which was Wednesday. Oh, actually, no, that was Thursday, the 3rd of February. So you feel free to share that.
Yeah. And please, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to comment underneath. Share this with the people that you believe may benefit from this, especially in this climate that we're in. We're seeing inflation go up. I don't know if you guys heard, that there's some kind of, I don't want to be a downer, but some kind of flu going on with chickens worldwide. Israel actually ordered like 1 million eggs.
So what are we
storage.
what are we talking? Another bird flu here, or what are we talking?
It looks like there's another bird flu, and there may be some more scarcity in that. So, insider news: stock up on some chicken and eggs ASAP.
Breaking news.
Head to Walmart and get those big crates.
Or fear the chicken and eggs and stock up on crypto.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
All right, you
yeah.
want to bring us out?
Yeah. Like Manolo was saying, man, if you like the content, like, share, subscribe, follow us. Don't forget to hit the bell.
Ding.
Join the notification crew. And we hope to see you on the next session. Cipher out.
Peace.
Peace.